I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day.
Every day we are hustling. What are we hustling for? But we hustling. We out there on our grind. We're getting it. Hey, it's Lewis Howard with your daily recipe. And if you've tuned in, you know that this is just our daily recipe. I love food, so I've combined inspiration and motivation with food as a metaphor, and I talk to you about, hey, every day you're hustling. Today, I want to just touch on test. Test. What's a test? Well, a test is something that determines the worthiness of something, right? If a plane is going to fly, we want to make sure that that plane has been thoroughly tested before you, me, our loved ones get on that plane. Anytime there's a plane crash, the NTSB, National Safety Board, comes in, and the first thing they start doing is give us the black box so we can see if the plane has been properly maintained, manufactured, and of course, tested. And so tests really are a part of life. If you try to avoid tests in life, it develops a character deficiency in you because you really don't know how good you are until you are tested, right? I love the NFL. They have the combine, and that is when they take athletes who want to be in the NFL. Many of them are out of college, and they take them through this 2-3 day session. And it's all about tests. It tests their speed, their agility, their strength, how their movement, different things are testing, and the pace at which they're doing it. It tests them. So the scouts, who are normally there looking, can come away with a report on that player about how fast is this player run. Can he do a 3.5 or a 4.5? How quick can this player get off the line? So life is about tests. When we're in school, right, in order to pass from one grade to another, you had to be tested. And that's simply to prove that you have the deficiency, right? We hear people say, I didn't get past the fourth grade, kind of as a joke, but sometimes it's true. People didn't advance because they couldn't pass the test. I've had a lot of tests in life, and tests are not fun. When you go through financial tests, when you go through relationship tests, when you go through business, professional crisis tests, health tests, they're not fun. But they test you. They show up your weaknesses. They tell you where you need to improve. So allow tests to come. It's not people hating on you. It's not people trying to undermine you. But sometimes you need to be tested, because you need to see if you're as good as you think you are. Am I as good in business as I think I am? The only way you know is when your competitor tests you, right? Am I good of a parent as I believe that I am? The only way you know is when your kids or other parents test you. Am I as smart as I think I am if I don't have the smartphone right in my hand to Google and look up things? We had some friends, we had a little place we used to call the barbershop. We would hang out on Friday. And part of the dilemma was to test each other and see what we knew without picking up the smartphone. So we would come up, we would say who was the 36th president, right? And so as an example, and we would test ourselves to see if we could remember it without having to Google the information. What do you know without having to look it up, right? Do you know your dream and your vision and your plan on a dime? If somebody say, tell me your dream right now, do you have to run to a whiteboard, or can you recite it very clearly and articulately? Did I say that right? Articulately, right? So that people can understand. Tests are about that. It's really about testing your proficiency, how good at you are. Man, relationship tests. Women will test you. Men will test you. And it's all about to see how strong you are. How good a character are you? How good are you in the clutch? We got a term we like to use in our culture sometimes, says ride or die, right? Which means I'm all in. But sometimes you got to test people in that. to see if they're truly all in, because you can't have things just posted on social media, or people say things because they're cool, they're hip, they're good squad words or crew words or OG words. You got to see if people are willing to truly put their money where their mouth are. And the reality is that a lot of people, when it comes crunch time, they are not there. One of my favorite movies is Rush Hour with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. And one Rush Hour where they're going to the building and going after the bad guy. Bad guy's firing on him and he's shooting. And Chris Tucker, in that moment, his character ran out the building. And so Jackie Chan, after the battle was over, came looking. He goes, "Where'd you go?" "You ran." He goes, "I didn't run. I was hiding. I was avoiding." But what it said was, in that moment, he wasn't ready to deal with that confrontation. So sometimes a test is not just about you, but sometimes it is about the people that's on your squad, that's in your elevator. You got to make sure that the people that are on your team, if I'm suiting up for Sunday NFL, I want to make sure that the players on my team are all in for the game. We just saw this with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A new band of players put together, but Tom Brady had them all in, and they walked away with a Super Bowl at home. How great is that? But they had to pass some tests throughout the year. Can they do it? Do they have what it takes? Is Tom Brady too old? Is this crew too new? Right? So all the things that we sort of go through. So don't be afraid of tests. Embrace tests. Look for them. Because if you fail the test, then learn from it. If you win the test, then up the ante, right? So either way, you ought to come out ahead. But tests are an important ingredient in life, right? I don't want to ever serve anybody food that I didn't taste it. That's testing it. Because I want to make sure it's not too salty, it's not too sweet, it's not undercooked. I mean, let me just tell you, if you serve somebody something that is not good because you didn't taste it, test it, that's not good. Barbecue competitions, a lot of times, sometimes the cook gets in a hurry to prepare and get the food to the judges. They forget to test it. And a lot of times the judge will say, "Did you taste this? Did you try this?" And sometimes the chef would say, "No, I didn't." And they said, you should never serve anything you don't taste or test. So in your own life, never ask anybody to do anything that you won't do yourself, that you haven't tested. Don't ask somebody to jump in a car that you haven't tested out yourself, or try on something that you yourself hasn't even tried. We are quick to post social media and tell somebody, "Hey, go join this group, go join this crowd, go become part of that," when we ourselves have never even been there, have never even participated. So I want to just reiterate again, tests are growth ingredients for you. You need tests in life. If you have gone through life and you have not had really any tough tests or challenges, then you really don't know how good you are. You may know how good you think you are. You might be good on a video game, but in real life, you're not going to pass that test. So embrace tests, look for it, pass it, move on, graduate to the next level. This is Louis Howard joining you for the Daily Ingredient. I hope to see you again on another conversation. Tell a friend to join in. And don't forget, here's my new book, Living Up in a Down World, available on Amazon. You can get it, Staying Steady in Unsteady Times. Go and get it. Tell them I sent you. We got them on discount. You can get them on Kindle, or you can order a hard copy for yourself. It's a good book. It talks about how to stay steady in unsteady time, how to manage in a crisis, about choices, habits, chains, what choices really mean, the hypocrisy of our democracy, living well in crisis. Some really good stuff that we've taken from the excerpts of our Louis Howard Live shows and your One Moment in Time. Hey, this is Louis Howard. Thank you for joining us and sitting in. Enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, without a great meal, you cannot have a great meal without a great recipe to help you become the best version of yourself. We'll see you soon.